Well, that's not a good sign. When your temperature sensor is reporting an error, or let me see if I can get it to make the noise. All right, so I couldn't get the noise to come on, but you know the noise when you've heard it. It's a very high-pitched error, and it tells you um, uh, thermal runaway. So what that means is that the temperature sensor that is reading the temperature on the hot end here on your nozzle is unable to read that temperature, and it has a couple of different states. One is when it intermittently starts going out, it'll print half a job or something, and then you can get it to finish. But in this case, with that, when it reports the error on the screen, you need to replace your thermistor. So that's what we're going to go over today: is how to replace the thermistor. So I got prints to get done. So let's hustle through this task. So first of all, there's two screws right here that you need to take out. They I got them over here. They look like this. Little tiny screws. They're you can take them out with a little Allen wrench. They come out real easy. They're not really that tight to put in there, but what that's going to do is it's going to allow you to move this fan shroud. Both of these fans are connected to that. And if you move that up and away, you need to slide some of your wire management a little bit. You'll get access to, and I've already loosened that too, this is the old thermistor right here. It's held in by a single screw. This little screw with the squash fitting on it. And what that does is it just holds it in place. You don't have to put that on very tight when you get it back on, but you loosen that up. It's right in here, right behind. You can see where the screw hole was. And that thing comes out. In my case, there was a bunch of dust in the hole, so you need to clean it out as best you can. That dust is what's left of the thermistor. This is a little glass tip, and it just decided to give up the ghost. So now we're going to go ahead and cut away some of this wire management and expose some of the wires and get another thermistor in place. Let's get started with that. Alright, so we're going to take a lot of these wires and free them up. I'm going to get all of this loose all the way back, probably about to here. That's probably good enough. Alright, so we can snake this back, and you can see a previous union that we got here. That's when we replaced the fan. And here's where those fans were joined together. So this thing has gone through a couple of iterations of upgrades. All right, so the next thing here is this little wire right here. We're gonna these are the sensor wires, these little white wires right here, and you can see that they have sort of a heat tape right here. It's gotten a little brittle, but you can loosen that up. We're gonna go ahead and snip this, but what I'm gonna do, and I'm going to snip this at two different locations, one a little further up and one a little further down. That way when we do our soldering, they don't directly overlap each other and it won't make a lump in the wire management. We'll have two pieces of heat shrink in two locations. So now we should be able to just pull this through, push like a noodle, give it a little wiggle here. Well, I think we may have to give up that tape. That's a shame. Yeah, it doesn't look like that's gonna. Oh, look at this. That might also be a problem right there. That just came disconnected. So this may have already had an issue once before and been fixed. There we go. Now we're loose. Yeah, this is toast. All right. We're just going to pull these through. Anyway, this is toast. It's cooked off. The replacement part, thankfully, is not that expensive. I bought this at Micro Center. Really easy to get a hold of, plenty in stock, not a problem. We're going to go ahead and fish these through. You can see here's the same little connector that we saw on the other one right here. See, that's the same connector right there. So we're just going to have to be careful when we fish it through that you don't want to pull on this at all to sacrifice these connectors. You can see the wire changes a little bit. Let me get it out. Alright, so inspecting this, you can see the wire changes a little bit. This is for heat tolerance at the tip. And then it has a little connector, it has a little sleeve, and then it goes on with the regular wire that goes through the wire management. So we're not going to mount a jack with this too much. So we're going to push it through. Let's see if I can preserve this tape because it's really just the right size. I don't know how practical that's going to be. There we go, there's a little bit of a gap right here. And okay. Alright, we're going to feed through this connector right here. Find a valley between two wires, it makes it easier. I'm just going to get those black connectors. I don't want to pull on them, so I'm just going to push them. I want to get them involved so that they're protected. Alright, that should get us where we need to be. If you're looking at where it needs to end up, just need to be able to put a little loop in it right here to get that screw through. Here's the little screw. So we're going to put that little screw in here between the two. Alright. Put a little bend in the wire. And feed it into the hole. Now we've already cleaned out the hole, so this should be nothing but a task. Oh, come here. Alright, so I don't know if you can see that my fat fingers were in the way. So we're going to put it right into that little hole. Not the one with the threads, but the one just underneath. There's a little tiny hole. There we go. So you can see it right there. I just want to give it a little introduction all the way to the back. Make sure it goes all the way until it stops. Okay, get this little screw in here. Okay, I'm gonna have to cut back to this. All right, so there you can see the screw and the little wires set in place. This little screw is it's a ferrous metal against aluminum, so make sure that you don't cross thread that. What I recommend most times is run it backwards until you hear a tick and then tighten. Now again, we're just going to barely tighten it. This is just going to hold these wires snug in place, right? We don't want to squish them and we don't want to pull them. So you can see underneath that there's the wires continue and they go into a little slot down there. All right, let's go ahead and do a little bit of soldering. Zooming out. Let's do some soldering now. So we have the wire management pulled back and we have our wires exposed. All we need to do is line them up, strip them, and solder them. Let's get busy on that. All right, so I got the wires stripped and they're mated up. So I'm getting ready to solder them now. Now they come with a big long length of wire, and the ends are suitable for crimping. But I think the intention there is that you'll run the wires completely from end to end through the wire management down into the control box. But I don't really want to take everything apart. This is a hasty revision. And I just find this a little simpler because it should be really easy to solder these together. I've got my my little heat shrinks prepared and pre-staged above the wire. So once we get them on there, we'll just slide those down and run the heat gun on there and get them all warmed up. So let's go ahead and get these things soldered. All right, the soldering gun is nice and hot. Let's throw a little bit of pilot solder on these end pieces. I'm heating the wire, not the solder, so that the solder will go through the wire on its way to the iron. There we go. That's suitable. Same thing down here. Get a little bit of a acid burn. That'll give a good flux on that. All right. Those are prepped. All right, so now the trick is to get them to match up while you're soldering them, right? So, whoops, I guess I didn't. Hang on, I got to strip these yet. All right, so the trick with soldering these, but they're just kind of all suspended and you really can't put them on something, is to get the wires so that they'll orient correctly when you touch them together. That way you don't have to worry about lining them up. And the other trick is just try not to get any solder on your fingers. I mean, that hurts. Both of these have been pre-soldered. I just need to get it hot. Need to really extra solder here. My tip is dirty. There we go. Okay, try this again. There we go. All right, that's a decent solder. This one here is together already. All right, so let's slide these down and get these heat shrinks on and put this thing back to get into motion. My little heat shrink attachment here. Okay. Just like new. All right, last little step here, and that's wire management. You don't want this thing, it's going to move around, right? You don't want any of these wires to be moving around because they'll have a wear point, right? So the next thing we need to do is make sure that you get as much of this wire management handled. First, a single one outside of the little feed tube down here to make sure that everything stays tight at the level of the fan right down here. Okay, nice and snug. All right, now we're going to run this piece of wire management, this little mesh. I'm going to run this down as it goes, kind of like a snake. So we're going to take a couple as we go, pulling it back to find the lumps. There's a lump right there for that connector. We're going to put it past this lump right here. Okay. So nice and loose down here. I can turn this corner, put one right about there. All right. I am happy with that. All right, let's switch her on and see what we get. Boom. All right, I don't have the error anymore. See right down here, it's giving me a good reading. Let's go ahead and do a temperature, and we'll preheat the nozzle to our next project. There we go. So you should be able to see this number changing. I don't see it changing yet. Well, nope. There we go. That's the beeping noise. We're going to have to revisit this. All right, so after testing, I had replaced the sensor on this hot end, and did some testing, and it still went into an error state because it was unable to actually heat anymore. So what happened was the hot end got burned out, and when it burned out, it also thermally destroyed the sensor. So I replaced the sensor. That was a symptom that we were having. And then once I got the sensor back up, it just was stuck at room temperature, and so it would throw the error because it thought it was still a runaway heater, but the nozzle was stuck at room temperature because the heater was dead. So I had to go ahead and replace the whole hot end, and I took the opportunity to upgrade, put a new tubing in there. That's the low resistance tubing, and then I also added a high resistance nozzle so that I can run nylon and other fibrous materials. So anyway, you start doing one thing and sometimes that's not exactly what the problem was. So lessons learned. Sometimes that runaway heat is just that it cannot get up to temperature, not necessarily that the thermistor is burnt out. So not the end of the story that I was hoping for, but a happy ending at the end anyway. Thank you for Creality for having parts readily available on Amazon, and also at Micro Center for having the thermistor available. So that's really great. Creality is a very well-known name in the industry, and they do have their parts readily available. So props and kudos to them for that. So that's all I got for you today. Cheers.